Hey, my Pilates people, welcome to my channel, Connect and Move. My name is Jessica. Today I have for you a side body focused reformer session. It is going to be full body and we are going to be moving at a pretty quick pace. So shorter reps, faster pace, a lot of changes. The one thing that you're going to need today is your box. And then that's it. So for springs, I'm gonna be starting with one medium spring. So for balanced body, that is one red spring. We will be starting with the headrest down because we're gonna be seated facing the back end of our reformer. So once you have your box, your one medium spring on, you're gonna meet me seated facing your shoulder blocks on your reformer. So make sure that you have at least a palm's distance behind your booty and the edge of the mat. And then it's okay if your feet are kind of hanging off or your toes are hanging off the headrest edge here, especially for my longer people. So give yourself some space. I'm gonna reach down and I'm gonna take the long loops. Let's go long loops. You guys know if we need to adjust, we adjust, okay? So from here, I'm gonna sit up tall. I'm gonna dig my heels into the headrest. And then with straight arms, right, my palms are facing back behind me. I'm just gonna do a gentle chest expansion, gentle press back, and then arms come forward. That's it. We press back, we grow a little bit taller, and then arms come forward. Last one like this for now. And then arms come forward. Now I'm gonna flip my palms facing in towards one another. And then I'm gonna think of keeping the sides of my neck long and now open the arms out wide. And I'm gonna hold 2, 3, and then slowly release my arms back out. Lower the arms if you feel like you're already going into your neck, no worries. Extra challenge is having the legs zipped up together here, but I know I can already feel my hip flexors talking to me. So if the knees need to separate, that's okay too. So open out wide and hold. I want all of you to think about opening up your wingspan and really pushing the first and second knuckles away from your body. And then slowly release the arms back to center. Last one, arms open out. And then arms come forward. Now keep the arms forward. Keep tension in the straps and just start to roll yourself back. Round back. Keep energy down through your heels. And you're staying looking down your front body. Now once your low back or kind of like your waistband hits the mat, I want you to pause there. Can you keep it there but maybe lift your chest up a little bit higher? Can you keep your waistband into the mat and lift your chest up a little bit higher? There we go. Keep with that and start to roll yourself up, obviously resisting the pelvis from coming with you. Once you're up here at the top, we stack up tall and we do that again. So keep the heels digging down. Maybe you go a little bit further back this time. And then we peel the spine up and over. We resist as we come forward. Let's do that again. Roll yourself back. And then resist as the chest comes forward and the ribs go back. Last one like this. Keep those legs hugging in towards one another. And then belly pulls back as chest comes forward. This time when we stack up tall, we stay here. Open the arms out wide. It's that big, big wingspan. We hold 2, 3. Arms come back together. Roll yourself back. Maybe you go back a little bit further and then we roll up, up, up. We stack up tall, open the arms out wide. We hold 2, 3, slowly release back to center. This time we're gonna go back and play. So roll yourself back. Really think of that pubic bone going back towards your navel. Can you hold the shape of your spine and just float your right leg up and then lower it down? Float your right leg up and then lower it down. So that leg can go straight if you want, it can stay bent, but really work that pubic bone back to navel and the drawing of your waistband into the mat, even if it's not touching. Now, can you hold that leg out there in space? Just hold it out there. Can you open the arms out a little bit and then back in? Open the arms out a little bit. Sides of the neck stay long. Check your neck, check your shoulders for 2. And last one, arms come back in, lower the foot down. Let's go right to the other side. Let's just do it. Getting right into things today. How are those arms doing? My shoulders are starting to feel this. So we're just lifting and lowering that left leg. Think of the weight of the leg being in your belly right now. Now we lift the leg up, we hold it still in space, open the arms a little bit, and then come back to center. I'm thinking of my knuckles scraping across the walls, so my upper back is nice and broad. Legs are still hugging the midline of my body. Last one here. Arms come together, lower the foot down, and roll yourself all the way up. Go ahead and just hang up the straps. Shake it out. Okay. So I'm gonna pivot towards you. So I'm kind of on my left hip here, and I'm gonna take my feet up against the shoulder blocks. So because I'm turned to the left a little bit, it's gonna be my bottom foot up against the front shoulder block, my top foot up against the back shoulder block. If for whatever reason this doesn't work for you, you can bring your legs together, have them on the headrest. So I'm gonna take my outside hand, my left hand, onto the long loop. Let's go long loop. So I'm pushing with my feet, and I'm thinking of my legs kind of zippering up and also pushing down. So three-dimensional energy here, right? I'm gonna let that left arm go straight. My right hand is behind my head, okay? I'm gonna allow my body to rotate towards the risers. This is as far as I can go. And then I'm gonna roll myself back, back, back. It's not nearly as much as the other one we just did. And then roll back up. Okay, I'm pushing through my feet. I'm stretching out and then roll back up. So it's like my hips are trying to square off to you and my upper body is trying to square off towards the risers. If you need more assistance, we choke up, no worries. Roll back, find a little bit of that head pushing back into your hand and then roll back up. Anybody feeling obliques right from the get-go? 2 more here. And then roll up. Try to relax that left shoulder. And then up. Now, if you choked up like I did, shift your hand back to the long loop. I'm gonna flip my palm facing back to the wall behind me. I'm gonna push into that and maybe try to lift up taller and maybe try to rotate a little bit more. And then I'm gonna square myself off and face you. So just let this left hand kind of do what it needs to do. I'm gonna twist. I'm gonna push into that hand or into that strap to deepen the twist, to lift up taller. And then I'm gonna come back to center, square off with the hips. Again, lift and twist. Think of the ribs pulling back. I'm still pushing in with the feet. And then I come back to center. One more time like this. I know it's still early in the session, so take it easy. Come back to center, and we're done with that side. Okay, so hang up that strap. Feet into the shoulder blocks. Start with the long loop. Start there, and then choke up if you need. So left hand behind the head. My hips are trying to square off to the wall in front of me. My right arm is straight. I'm gonna try to rotate towards the risers, and then I'm gonna roll back a little bit, and then I roll back up. And I'm trying so hard to keep my hips relatively stable as I do this up and over, but I can see they're moving, right? That's all we can do is try. And then up, up, up. I'm gonna choke up. Let's do like 3 more here. Feel that the sides of your neck are nice and long. I'm thinking of my top hip going forward. And try to relax that right shoulder as much as you can. Go ahead and come up. Now take that hand into the long loop. And then I'm gonna push into that strap. I'm gonna try to lift and twist tall, tall, tall to the left. And then I come back to center. I square off with my hips. Use that strap, use that tension to lift and twist maybe a little bit deeper. And then we go through center, square yourself off. Really reach out through that right arm, right fingertips. Just like we did with those back rows or back flies. A couple more here. Keep lifting the ribs up off of the hips. Maybe a little nod to the chin to just stretch out the back of that neck. And back to center. Awesome, let's hang up that strap. Okay, so if for footwork you like your headrest up, go ahead and place it up. And then let's add, I'm gonna add 2 light springs and another medium spring. So for balanced body, that is 2 reds, a blue, and a yellow. Go ahead and lie down. Make sure that you're centered on your carriage. And then let's go heels on. Heels on about hip socket distance apart. As always, make sure that you're centered. I'm gonna lift all 10 toes up to the sky. My arms are weighted into the mat here. My tailbone is heavy. And as always, the ribs are too. Go ahead and press that carriage out and then resist it back home. So of course, we're holding that spine and pelvis still in space. Take note of how that mat feels as you go out and in. Should not change. Moving at a pretty decent pace here. Never really pausing on the out or the in. So we just stay connected to the springs and the muscles the whole way through. Let's do 3 and 2. And last one. Now bring the carriage in halfway. Everything else stays stable. Right leg is gonna lift up into tabletop and then lower it back down. Left leg up and down. Try to make this transition really, really smooth. So there's no shift in your pelvis, in your ribs, in your shoulders. And we're staying in parallel here. Last one here. Everybody place your right heel down, left leg up into tabletop. Can you press the carriage out and then resist it back in? Weight is right through the center of that heel. Foot stays flexed. Again, never really pausing on the out or the in. Let's do 3 and 2. And last one, bring the carriage in halfway. Left heel lowers, right leg lifts up. Other side here, we press it out and then resist back in. Maybe you place your hands on your hips or your belly here and just see, am I twisted? Am I rotating? Are things shifting? Or are they staying as stable as I can possibly get them today? All 10 toes looking up to the sky. Let's do 3 and 2. And last one, bring the carriage in halfway, place the right heel down, press it out one more time, and then resist all the way back home. All right, so let's come onto the toes, but let's go into a wide position. So there's a little bit of a turnout, little bit, maybe a lot, depending on you. But once again, we're still in that strong neutral pelvis. My heels have a little lift to them, and I'm thinking of connecting all 10 toes to the foot bar as best I can here. So go ahead and press the carriage out and then resist it back home. So as you bring the carriage in, I want you to think of pulling in on the foot bar. Almost like you had a magic circle or a ball between your heels or your ankles. And then maybe you feel a little bit of inner thighs, maybe a little bit more hips when you do that. Both knees are bending and straightening at the same time. Let's do 3 and 2. And last one, bring the carriage in halfway. Check your Pilates boxes, check your neck, check your shoulders. And now we lower the heels and we lift the heels. We lower and lift. So find the work in both directions. You are flexing and you are pointing. It is not just a drop and then a flop up. Again, could you also find that pull in on the foot bar here? Oh, that just made things harder as you go up and down. I just felt my seat kick on a little bit more. So let's do 3 and 2. And 1. Now push the heels down. So you're in a strong flex of the foot. Keep pulling in on the foot bar and little pulses out an inch and in an inch. It's almost like we're trying to pull those upper thigh bones together or even your sits bones together. Aha, and I'm really feeling like my butt crease muscles big time right now. So let's do 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Go ahead and press it all the way out and then resist all the way home. Awesome. Okay, so drop your headrest all the way down. I want you to place your feet on your platform. So if you have a really short platform like me, I'm just placing the arches on or just at a place where I feel supported, okay? So I'm gonna inch away from the blocks a little bit here. My feet are hip socket distance apart and in parallel. So I'm gonna reach my arms or my fingertips as far up my thighs as I possibly can to the point where it's just the tips of my fingertips touching my thighs, okay? I'm gonna keep the reach. It's okay if your shoulders are a little rounded here, that's fine. So equal push down through your feet. Can you start to roll your hips up? The hands might slide down, that's totally fine. But as you lift the hips up, can you try to connect your front body to your arms and hold here? Find a somewhat tripod connection of your feet down into that platform and then just start to roll your spine down. So think of kind of peeling the front of your body away from your arms, come all the way back down, back to that start position to where it's just your tips of your fingertips touching. And then start to roll your hips up. Up, up, pause at the top. So as the front of your body is driving up into your arms are gently pressing down. And then we roll down. If you need to hinge, you do you. All right, let's do that again. Think of closing those sits bones. We roll up, roll up. Can you connect the entire front of your body, as much as you can, to your arms and hold? So notice if there's any, I don't know, if it feels light, like a light contact on one side more than the other. I feel like my right hip just doesn't want to get up there. And then we roll down, keep reaching out through the fingertips. Let's do that one more time. Roll your hips up. Up, up. Make sure those thighs are parallel. Okay, so you're gonna keep your left side connected to your left arm. Lower your right hip down just a little bit and then drive that right hip back up into the arm. Try to connect it to the arm. Left hip lowers down a little bit and then back up. Whoa. Continue to alternate. So the challenge is keeping that one side connected to your arm as the other side lowers down. And wow, a lot of feedback. For 3 and 2 and last one. Hold here at the top, hold here at the top. Just stay here for 5, 4, 3. Keep lifting your butt creases up. 2 and 1 and roll and melt all the way down, down, down. That was fun. Okay, so stretch your legs out over the foot bar. Legs are zipped up, either in parallel or Pilates V, doesn't matter. I want you to find that gentle press of the legs down into the foot bar. Reach the arms up, create as much space between your hands and your chest as you can, and then start to lift the weight of your head up and roll yourself up, up, up. As you reach for your toes, can you pull the ribs back and maybe lift your butt creases up? So in other words, just kind of tuck the pelvis without any gripping in your seat. And then start to roll your spine down. Keep pushing the legs down into the foot bar. All the way down, head hits the mat. Let's do that again. We roll up. Peel your spine away from the mat. Good, now hold here. Can you lift the arms up to the ears? Keep them up at your ears, maybe get a little bit taller, and then roll your spine all the way down, all the way down, all the way down, all the way down. Ooh, let's do that again. We lift up, roll up, roll up. We reach for the sky with our fingertips and our head, and then roll back, arms stay at your ears. Roll the pelvis back, back, back. Let's do that one more time, kind of, just a half rep. Pick the weight of your head up, reach up to the sky, reach up to the sky. Keep pulling your ribs back, and then go ahead and lower the arms down. Let's change our springs. So I'm gonna take my 2 light springs off, so I have 2 medium springs on. So that's my 2 reds for my balanced body people. I'm gonna place my headrest back up because that's where I like it, and let's go ahead and lie back down. All right, so before we grab onto our straps, I want to make sure that you can grab onto the ends of the mat, like a really good grip. Yeah, so almost like my fingertips could go all the way under here. So from here, now I'm gonna grab on. So I'm gonna use my long loops because obviously I'm a little bit further away. So I want you to wrap the fists around, find that space between your chest and your hands, bring one leg up into tabletop, bring the other leg up to meet it, and just hold here for a second. With this little tuck of your pelvis, could you get the entire spine into the mat? So a lot of times I like to find my neutral, and I try to keep my neutral pelvis as I sink the belly, sink the back, sink the ribs. Oh, and I'm already shaking. From here, go ahead and just lower the arms down and then float them back up. Still keeping a broad collarbone. And with every lowering of the arms down, you're making those arms super long, reaching past the carriage, creating space in your neck. And of course, all the while, those ribs are not popping off the mat. All right, now go ahead and lower the arms down, grab onto the end of the mat. Really pull your arms away from the blocks. Now from here, curl your head, neck, and shoulders up. Use your arms to help lift the chest up higher. So now the head is more on the ceiling. And just hold here. Can you stretch your right leg out? And then pull it back in. Stretch your left leg out. And then pull it back in. Stay looking down at your low belly. Your low back is into the mat. And it's just the tip of your lowest ribs onto the mat. For 2. Last one. Bends the knees back in. Carefully lower your head down. Let go of the mat. Float the arms back up. Okay, are we ready? Arms come down. Grab onto the mat again. Your elbows are gonna bend wide as you curl up. Straighten your right leg out and hold. Can you keep the lift of your chest? And now reach your arms forward. Let go of that mat. Hold here. Lift the arms up a little bit and then lower them down. Lift them up a little bit and then lower them down. Keep lifting your chest up, and down. Now grab onto the end of the mat. Switch legs. Left leg reaches out. Can you pull your chest up a little bit higher? Oh, do not let it lower down. Reach the arms forward. They lift and lower. Notice how those springs, oh, they want to pull your chest back. Don't let it happen. Let's do 3. You got this. Make those arms a little bit longer. Oh, my chest is falling down. Last one. Woo! Bend the knees in. Lower everything down. Go ahead and hang up the straps. That's all we're doing with those. That's it. I told you fast changes today. So let's go ahead and roll you up. We're gonna come to your lightest spring. Lightest spring. So for me, that is a yellow spring. So this next one, we're gonna come up standing to the side of the carriage. So I'm facing the carriage. My tower or my risers are to my left. So my long loop is in my left hand. I'm standing pretty close to the carriage, and I'm in kind of my favorite squat position with the feet. So go wide here and with as little turnout as you possibly can. I don't care what you do with your right hand, but I want you to feel like your tailbone is long. Your ribs are in, crown of the head is on the ceiling. My left palm is facing in towards my body. There's a soft bend to my elbow. Can you just hug that arm in? Could you tap your thigh? And then arms comes back out. So it's kind of like a hug from the side. I want this to be challenging, and I want it to be a struggle to get your finger to your thighs. So I feel like, okay, I probably could make this a little bit harder. I'm gonna hug in and then back out. Maybe I could go a little bit further. So as you do this, your collarbones are staying open. And I'm hoping that you're maybe turning on that side body, that left side body here. Okay, so now what I want you to do, instead of coming towards your thigh, I want you to bring the arm a little bit in front of your body, even if it doesn't come in front. Again, I don't care what you do with your right arm. Can we squat down a little bit and then back up? I know the reformer's kind of in our way here, so the knees might tap the reformer and then back up. But right now, this strap is trying to pull us into a twist, is trying to pull us to the left, all while we're trying to stay square. For 3, anybody else got those creaky knees? 2, and last one, we stand up, bring the arm back in line with the body, let it go out for a second. That was a second. Go ahead and pull it back in. Now I want you to shift weight over into your left leg. Can you tip over and that outside leg lift and pause here? So right now I really want that left arm to be hugging in towards your center line. Can all of you bring your left hip a little bit more forward? And then we tip back over, right foot hits the floor. We go into that squat, that left arm can lift. We're gonna bring it back in, we tip over, leg lifts, and then we gracefully come back. And we're just gonna stay here for a few reps. So as I come up into this side bend, I'm thinking of my left hip going forward and my left shoulder going back. Again, I don't care what you do with that right hand. Now tip over and hold here. Could you lift that outside leg up a little bit higher? Stand a little bit stronger in that left leg. And now give me little pulses up an inch and down an inch with that right leg. Everything else stays super stable. That left arm is hugging in as tight as you possibly can in towards your body. For 3 and 2 and 1, go ahead and lower the foot down. We come back to that squat. Awesome. Okay, keep your hand in the strap. I'm gonna pivot and face the back of my reformer. So now I'm in this split stance. My left foot is forward, my right foot is back. Okay. So I'm gonna go down into a lunge. It's kind of a narrow lunge here. And I'm gonna row that left elbow back. And then as it comes forward, I stand back up. Elbow rows back and then forward. As you lunge down, think of that left hip going down, right hip lifting up just a hair. And then we come back forward. Oh, we try not to fall over. Let's do 3. And 2, think of your head staying right over your ribs, over your hips here for this last one. Good. Now the arm is gonna come forward. I'm gonna flip that palm facing down, soft bend to that standing or that front knee. Could I now tip forward, back leg lifts? You have a shoulder block here to hold on to if you need. The foot's gonna come back down. And then I'm gonna come into that lunge, do my row. Arm comes forward, palm flips down. I'm gonna hinge forward, keeping my long line, and then foot comes down, I go for that row. Take these slow, take them faster. I think I'm gonna go slow and steady for these. Remember, you have that shoulder block to hold on to with that opposite hand as you tip forward. Think of the ribs lifting up into your back. Let's do 2. Try not to bang the carriage, y'all. Don't do it just like I did. So I'm gonna tip forward, I'm gonna hold. Just hold here for a second. Find that tripod connection into that standing foot. All right, carriage is not gonna move. And now just roll that top hip open, little airplane action, and then bring it back to square. Roll the hip open, and then lower it back down. So I'm trying to keep my torso square towards the floor as my hip rotates. I am pushing into the floor like crazy with that standing leg to try to open up that hip. We have 3 and 2. Really open up that hip. Last one. Open, make that top leg a little bit longer, a little bit further away, a little bit further away. Square the hips off, come back down. Awesome. Let's do the other side. All All right, so every side is different. Give yourself some grace. So we're gonna start in that squat position, little bit of a turn out here, and then let's just try those kind of hugs in of that arm or that hand to your side body. And already here, I can feel like my upper body's twisting towards the tower, so I'm thinking right chest coming forward. And remember, I want it to be a struggle for you to connect your fingertips to your thigh. And if you're not feeling your side body, and honestly, it's fine if you're not, we don't all feel things the same, but I want you to maybe put a little bit more weight into that pinky side of your hand and maybe angle the elbow back behind you. All right. So once you've got yourself sorted, you're at your sweet spot. I want you to now bring the arm forward, and now we do our squat, trying to stay as upright as possible, and then we stand back up. And I don't care what you do with that outside arm. Ooh, this side's feeling way harder. Check your hips every now and then, see that they're square. And there's equal weight into all corners of your feet. Oh, I don't know. This side definitely feels different. For 2, oh my, last one. Okay, so now we bring that arm back in line with your hips. I'm gonna tip over, and here it almost feels like my right arm is sliding down my body. My tailbone is heavy. I'm trying to open up the front of my hips. There, I just felt my booty even more. I'm gonna come back down. I'm gonna squat down. Did we do squats in between? I don't even remember. We come down. Think of that bottom hip coming forward. Chest is nice and open. Ooh, anybody else feeling like really big time side booty? So these are your side overs on the box. We will do them today. So just remember this sensation, this strong hip connection that you're feeling, because we're gonna try to tap into it again as we do that oblique work on the box. Okay, so let's tip over. We hold. Can we make that bottom arm a little bit longer? Yeah, maybe relax the neck a little bit more. Oh, my right hip on fire. That outside leg, we're gonna lift it and lower it. Little lifts, little lowers. Keep trying to open up that bottom hip. For 3 and 2 and 1, we lower the leg down. Awesome. Okay, now we pivot. Hips are looking at the back of that reformer there. All right, so now we lunge, we row, and then arm comes forward. When you do your row, think of that elbow hugging in close towards your ribs. It's not winging out to the side. And just check the alignment every now and then of your knees. Make sure they're not doing funky things like going out or in. They're staying right in line with your second and third toes. And I'm trying to keep my head over my ribs, over my hips as I do this move here. Let's do 2. And last one, I'm gonna come up. I'm gonna flip that front palm facing down. Remember, soft bend to that standing or their front knee. I'm gonna tip forward. And then I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna find that lunge, go for that row. So that front arm or that right arm is just doing a chest expansion here. It's like a static chest expansion as I hinge forward. Foot comes down, I go back to being upright. Ribs stay lifted into your back. I'd much rather you be rounded than extended here. I think a lot of times we wanna like stick the booty out, we wanna extend in the back. No, no, no. The lift comes from the back of the thigh. Let's do 2 more The next time you're over in that forward hinge, remember, ribs are lifted. Can we open up that top hip? And then bring it down. If you're starting to feel this in your back, just lower the leg, limit your range, but also think of your pubic bone kind of lifting up towards your navel. And that just did it for me. Or maybe like lifting your low belly into your back, kind of like how we do in a lot of other places. Wow, standing leg is stable, y'all. Let's do 3. You got this. Check your neck, check your shoulders. 2, stable carriage. Last one, lift that hip, come back to center. We come down, holy cannoli. Oh, okay, hang up that strap. We are now gonna come to a medium and a light spring. So let's actually keep the light spring that you just had on. I take that back and just add a medium. So I now have a red and a yellow spring on. We're gonna come kneeling on our carriage facing your risers. All right, so when you're kneeling, you're about hip socket distance apart. I have got a strong hooking of my feet around the edge. So I'm gonna grab onto my long loops. I'm gonna go there. That's where I'm gonna go. If I wanna make this harder, I can choke up. So I am in this active kneeling position. I'm thinking of my tailbone staying heavy. My ribs are soft into my back. My arms are razor straight here. I want you to pull the arms down and back, find your chest expansion and hold here. Really think of the fists going back towards your heels and almost feel like your pelvis is coming forward even though we're still staying in our long line. And now slowly release the arms. Arms pull down and back and then arms come forward. We're trying to limit any sway in our body. I feel like I'm doing a terrible job at that, showing that for you guys. Only gonna do 2 more, then we'll come back to it. So press the arms down and back and hold. Get your arms a little bit straighter, a little bit longer. Turn your head to the right, turn your head to the left, turn your head to center, and then slowly release. Last one here, like this, press the arm down and back, turn your head to the left, turn your head to the right, turn your head to center, and then slowly release. Okay, so remember the bridge that we did in the very beginning, okay, with your hands on your thighs. We're gonna do that here, okay? This is gonna be a tiny, humbling movement, okay? So I'm gonna press my arms into my thighs here. My fingertips are reaching down my thighs, all while keeping a flat back to start. So even here, could you connect the whole front of your body, right? Your hips, your thighs, whatever you can, to your arms. I'm shaking right now. Like my hips and my butt is like officially at the party. So keep this connection. And now just look down. Can you still keep driving your pelvis forward? Okay. Now, can we slide the hands down the thighs like you were gonna reach down towards your knees, all while keeping your hips connected to your arms? Can we go a little bit further? Can we go a little bit further? So we're trying not to let our hips go back. They stay forward. Maybe I go a little bit further. Maybe I go a little bit further. Oh my gosh. And then I come back up, square the chest off, reach the arms forward. Anybody feel your legs there? Yeah, right? Because this is what wants to happen. So keep your hips forward, keep the front of your hips open. Press the arms into your thighs. We're only gonna do it 2 more times because these are kind of brutal. Nod your chin, look down the front of your body. All this is just you rolling down. This is a kneeling roll down. Oh, so the further your fingertips go down, the more your hips have to come forward. And then we stack back up, roll the chest open at the top, arms come forward. Ooh, anybody else's legs is shaking. Again, arms pressed down, hips come forward. Nod your chin, round up and over. So as my fingertips are going down, there's opposition up through my sternum. Oh, my hips, they keep wanting to go back and then we stack our spine back up, arms come forward. You guys will have to let me know in the comments what you guys thought of that one. Let's grab our short box. Staying on the same spring, short box on. Okay, short box is on, staying on these springs. We're gonna take our feet underneath your safety strap. So both feet come on, or under. And we're pretty close to the front edge of the box here. All right, so feet are strongly flexed and the feet are pulling apart on your strap. Let's take palm over palm or hand over hand on your low abdomen. So my elbows are wide, but also kind of forward. So it's kind of like how we did when we grabbed onto the edge of the carriage. So find that kind of rounding up and over. And now start to roll yourself back, round back, round back. Keep pulling your low belly away from your hands. And then we roll ourselves up. Keep the weight in your hips as your head comes to your knees. You're under a low ceiling. Roll yourself back, round back, and then roll yourself up and over. Okay, stack your spine up tall, hands on your thighs. Okay, we're gonna kind of match that thing that we just did. We're gonna try, okay? So you're gonna press down into your thighs, fingertips stay forward, start to roll yourself back, back, back. And once you get to your challenge point, can you think of your hips lifting up into your arms pressing down into your thighs, and hold. Think of, again, your belly pulling away from the ceiling. Keep pressing down into your thighs and then roll yourself up and over, up and over. Eventually the elbows will bend and just stretch forward. Let's do that again. So obviously a little bit different here, but you're trying to resist the arms from lifting, the pelvis from, I guess, going away from your arms. Let's do that again. Roll yourself back, back, back. And you're trying to get to that point where obviously your arms are touching the whole front of your body. If that's not available, right, you do what you can, but just hold here. Think of that pubic bone going back to your navel. And then resist as your chest comes up and over, up and over. Keep pressing down into your thighs and just round forward. That press into the thighs alone is enough, right? Let's do that one more time. Roll yourself back, back, back. Press into your thighs. Find your challenge point and hold. Can you round a little bit deeper through the spine? Keep pressing your left arm into your thigh. Right arm comes up. Holy cannoli. Right arm presses down. Left arm comes up. Oh, geez Louise, press down. Right arm up and down, last one. And then roll yourself up, sliding yourself forward. Okay, let's hook your thumbs. Fingertips are just long like a shadow puppet on the wall. Arms come up. You're gonna hug your biceps into your ears. If this doesn't feel good on your neck and shoulders, find some space there, find a little bend. But I do want you to keep the same spacing between your arms and your ears the entire time. We're sitting up tall, just side bend over to the right. Hips and legs stay stable, and then come back up. We side bend up and over to the left, right hip stays heavy, and then stack your spine back up. Again, up and over, keep pulling your thumbs apart. Last one, up and over. And now come up through center. We keep our arms where they're at. We lift and twist to the right. Think of that spiraling up, 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 and then back to center. We lift and twist to the left. We lift, 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 and back through center. We lift and twist to the right. Think of the ribs again, softening into your back, and then back to center. Lift and twist to the left. You can always lower your arms down if it gets too much in the neck, and then back to center. Now we lift and twist to the right, keep equal weight into your hips, and now lean back, lean back, lean back, and then lift yourself right back up. Lift and twist to the left. We go straight back, and then lift yourself right back up. Now, we're gonna come to center. Place your hands on your thighs. I'm gonna twist my body towards the right. And now let's reach our right arm back. Let's do that, but keep pressing your left hand down. I'm gonna kind of glide back, press into that left thigh. Press into that left thigh and then come back up. Right hand down. So there's a little bit of rounding as we go back as opposed to going flat back. So I'm gonna twist to my left. I'm gonna keep pushing down into my right thigh. I'm gonna roll back, push into that right thigh, push into that right thigh, and then glide back up. One more time each side. I definitely feel my abs a little bit more on this one. Go back, stretch back, and then come back up. We're trying to find that same connection of arm to front of the body. Ooh, last one. Press, 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 and then roll back up. Awesome sauce. Okay, let's flip you. Actually, flip you. I'm gonna twist you to the right. So we have some options. My right leg can be hanging off the box. My right foot can be hooked underneath my thigh. But that left foot is gonna be underneath that strap, and ideally, I want it to be in line with your body. Ideally, okay? So this is what I was referencing when we were doing that standing side bend thing. So let's tip over. Hand goes onto the headrest. So my right hand is onto the headrest. Left hand, let's just do whatever for now. But let's just double check. Are we in one long line here? That strap is so tight, so tight. All right, I could bounce a quarter off of it. It's not going anywhere. Let's just tip over, side bend over. Notice how the strap gets a little bit tighter. Can you keep that tension and lift back up? We go out. We're moving between those two panes of glass. Top leg gets longer, and then we lift back up. Out. Think of stretching your head through the risers and then come back up. Okay, so now we can add on. Let's actually take the top arm and place it on the thigh. I'm liking this. So it kind of simulates that hand in the spring or hand in the strap that we had. Your bottom hand, I want you to take it to the outside of the headrest. So I'm not resting on my wrist. It's on the outside and I'm pulling in. I'm gonna side bend out. And as I come up, I'm gonna think of gliding my top arm down my side body, but also pressing in. And again, that strap gets tighter. I go out. So it's the same thing we did, only I'm feeling a little bit more abs, still feeling that top hip. Go out, stretch out, stretch out, stretch out, and then glide back up. Keep pressing that top arm into your side body. We go out, chest is nice and open. We come up and over, up and over, up and over. And now let's just twist our body towards the well for that yummy dessert stretch. Let the head hang. You can even walk both hands over to that right side. Okay, and let's carefully unpretzel you. Let's do the other side. So right foot under, we tip over. So just remember here, no matter, even if you're not finding that arm connection, that top leg stays super strong and it lifts up into that strap deeper and deeper with each side bend. So do whatever you like with the top hand. Legs are strong. We tip out and then lift back up. Hopefully that top heel is right in line with your hip, right in line with your ribs. And a little extra something I didn't say on the other side, that top foot, if you could get it more parallel than anything, almost as if that big toe was looking down to the floor, that, I don't know, might make things feel a little bit different. So let's go ahead and come up and hold that top arm. I want you to press it into your side body. Press it in like you're a penguin. That bottom hand goes to that outside of the headrest. I'm gonna tip out, hug that headrest in towards the box, and then lift right back up. Ooh, my right armpit just started to like cramp up a little bit. That strap is so tight, it is not going to move. So if there was a camera on that top foot, on that strap, it would look like you were doing nothing because it doesn't move. Ooh, chest is nice and open. We have two. Keep pressing that arm into your side. Last one. We go out, we twist, find the frame, let your head be heavy. Okay, let's carefully unpretzel you. Let's come up, let go of that strap. And now we're gonna switch it. We're just gonna take our medium spring off. Let's do that. So the red spring is gonna come off for my balanced body people, and I'm gonna stay on my light spring, which is a yellow for me. I'm gonna turn around again and I'm gonna face you. So my right leg is hanging over the box. My left knee and shin are pushing down into the carriage. Now it's gonna be a little bit easier for my more petite people because you can really get a good hug in on the box. If you have longer legs like me, right, we do what we can. Okay, so I'm gonna take my right hand into the short loop. Let's do that. And then let's take the arms out to the side like we're gonna do a hug. But before you do your hug, I want you to really lift up out of your waist. Even though your left hip might be hanging off of the box, I still want you to think of grounding equally down through your hips. All right, all I want you to do is just hug the arms together or the fingertips together and then open out wide. So sides of the neck stay nice and long and my upper back stays really broad here. So it's not like my shoulder blades are going in, out. They stay pretty stable. Only gonna do a couple more here. Your back is flat right now. If you were up against a wall, you would feel your entire spine into the back or into the wall. So now I want you to bring your hands together, clasp your fingers together, bring your hands in towards your sternum, and then we're gonna twist and rotate towards your foot bar. Try to get both arms straight, and then we stir the pot as the arms come around. We twist towards the risers, elbows bend, we bring the hands in, and then around. So our upper body is rotating, our hips are trying to stay super square, super stable. So that's where this like hug in on the box and then kind of the press down through the shin will really help. And even my front leg, my right leg, I'm pulling my calf into the box. Last one here. Once your hands come to your sternum, we're gonna reverse. So arms go out, we pull across. And as those arms go straight, create as much space between hands and your chest as you can, and then elbows or hands come back in. Still keeping a broad upper back, lower the arms if it starts to get too necky, no worries. Last one here. Okay, now I'm gonna take my left hand into my short loop. So I'm gonna have my elbow hugging into my side, my palm is facing you. My right hand, I can use it to assist. All I want you to do is punch the arm out, hold here. Upper back is strong. I'm creating as much space between fist and my chest as I can. Elbow bends right back in. I'm gonna punch straight out. You can always go to the long loop as well, right? So I think I might take that option. We punch out and then elbow bends back in. The higher the arm goes, the harder it might be to control the neck muscles. So maybe the arm goes a little bit lower. Anybody else feeling the shoulder? And you're trying to keep that wrist super straight. Tailbone is long. I just felt myself arching. So let's do two. Woo, shoulder, hello. Last one. Elbow bends back in, and then we come out of it. Awesome work. Okay, other side. Carefully on that light spring. All right, so again, everything is hugging in towards the box. We start with that hug. So even here, I almost feel like I'm rounding a little bit, so that way I'm not going into my low back. So I'm gonna hug my fingertips together and then open the arms out wide. As my fingertips are coming together, I'm feeling opposition back through my upper abdomen. And for me, it feels like I'm rounding, but when I look in the mirror, I'm like in this perfect flat back. And you'll have to tell me if this workout was challenging or not, or I'm just sore. I recorded the side body jump board class yesterday, And I'm definitely feeling things from that class. So you should definitely take it if you enjoy side body or unilateral work. So the next time the hands come together, clasp them together, bring your fist into your sternum, and I'm gonna twist towards my foot bar and then stir the pot, bring it back in. Still keeping my shoulder blades pulling apart the entire time. Left heel is hugging into the box, even if it's not touching. I'm letting my upper body rotate while trying to keep my hips super stable, super locked into place. Let's do 2 more here. Reach the knuckles across the room. Ho, ho, ho. Once the hands come back into the sternum, we reverse. I keep wanting to say we de-rotate. I worked with a teacher who said that a lot. We de-rotate. And you know what? It's a word. I didn't think it was a word. All right, squirrel thoughts here. Think of your ears lifting up off of your shoulders, always checking in line with that neck. 2 more here, keeping tension in that strap. Okay, now right hand into that long loop. Left hand wherever you like, or it can assist by feeding the strap. So my palm is facing to the window in front of me. I'm gonna punch that arm out. I'm gonna hold here. Again, make your right arm so long, grow a little bit taller through the crown of your head, and then guide the elbow right back in. We punch out and then guide it back in. And I'm thinking of my first and second knuckles really leading the way as I go out and resist back in. And for me on this side, I feel like I'm wanting to twist to the right. So I'm almost thinking of my right chest coming forward, especially as my arm comes out. Let's do 3. This is your side plank, y'all. And 2. And last one, elbow bends back in. We guide it back to that hook. Okay, so let's come seated facing your foot bar. Feet can be wherever, depends on you. Maybe you put an extra spring on just so the carriage isn't going all over the place. I'm gonna take my right ankle over my left knee. And then just find your figure 4 stretch here. So let's start by sitting up really tall and like sticking your booty out. And now allow yourself to round and forward fold towards your shin. And then stack your spine back up tall. And then let's do like a little side bend. Just a little side bend, kind of back and forth. Maybe you add a little twist to this, just to see where you need to go. And then go and take your right foot down, left ankle comes over. We're gonna sit up tall. If you can, there's just a gentle press of your knee down, if that's okay. And then let yourself kind of forward fold and round. And then we stack back up. And then we can do that little side to side and just see if that does anything that you like. Maybe you add a little twist. And just breathe into those tight places. Okay, let's go ahead and now come off. Let's do away with the box. So let's come back to your light spring. That is your lightest spring that your carriage has. So I kind of discovered this stretch the other day, and I know we've done variations of this stretch. You've probably done this stretch, but I really, really like it. So it's my new favorite thing. So I'm standing facing my reformer, my shoulder boxer to my left here. I'm gonna place my right forearm down, right hand grabbing onto my shoulder block, the closest one to me. I guess you could do the opposite one. We could try that too. My left hand goes on top of the shoulder block. My feet are in a comfortable position. I'm gonna press the carriage out, allowing my body to twist. I'm pushing with my left hand and pulling with my right hand. And I'm thinking of both hips going to the wall behind me. Maybe my arm fully straightens, maybe it doesn't. And then guide the carriage back in. Let's do that 2 more times. Breathe into those back ribs. Big, big breath in. And then on your exhale, we carefully bring it back in. Let's do that again. Inhale, press the carriage out. Soft bend to the knees is totally fine. We do what we can. And then exhale back to center. Okay, let's do the other side. So left hand wraps around. I'm gonna push with that top hand, pull with my bottom hand. I'm gonna breathe, breathe, breathe. Let the head be heavy, and then carefully guide it back in. The next time that you press the carriage out, maybe swish the hips from right to left and just see, where do I need to go to get the stretch that my body needs? And then back to center, last one. Really push into the elbow. That might deepen the stretch. And then guide it back to center. And you are done. That was awesome. We got in a lot today. I know we're moving a little bit faster. I have to be at the studio very, very soon. So this was awesome. I appreciate you guys. As always, let me know what you thought in the comments, and I hope to see you again.